Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you with a very special, once again, it's a player profile, and it's Canfield. It's brought to you by Steve Coca and Coca's Pizza. And obviously in Canfield, some of the best pizza around. We're joined by the Sultan of Swing and Miss, and also one of the heaviest bats in all of the area, one of the most impressive young men for such a long time, entering, and I guess significantly into your senior year, and you're almost done with it, Nate.
That's crazy.
It is Canfield's Nate Shaw. Nate, how are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a great honor. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, man. All right, so we are on the day after you threw your second no hitter of the year. The first one was a combined no
Yes,
with
sir.
Jake Gerdick.
Yeah,
That
Gerda came in and
happened.
slammed the door.
Yeah, we were in Toledo. That was on the road, and then last night you get your second one on the road again at Harding this time. Talk to me about this year, why it's been so special for you, and what you're finding on the mound. It's seemingly magic.
This year, it's just a lot of pressure coming in this year because last year, I had a lot of mental issues like with throwing, and I just had a mental block on the mound. And this year, really everything just came together. I just thought, let's just go out and throw. Let's have fun. It's my senior year, and really everything just came together. And with Coach Weimer coming over, joining the staff, he really helped me a lot in the off season, and really everything's just been moving really well this year, and the team's doing great, and it's just awesome.
When you talk about mental issues, that's a serious topic right now in today's
Yes.
society. How did you kind of overcome some of those mental issues, those mental blocks that you had based on your sophomore year, your junior year?
It's a big thing with confidence. Like last year, I'll be the first to say it, I lacked a bunch of confidence. Every time I got on the mound, it almost seemed like the whole world was just spinning 100 miles an hour around me, and it was just honestly, I was every game that I was going and I would be on the mound. I really wasn't as amped as I was when I was just playing the field or hitting because I always had that conscience behind me that was saying, it's not going to go well today or whatever. But this off season, I really just decided that we're just going to go out, we're going to throw, we're going to do our best, and we're going to do whatever the team needs to win. And everything's just really came together real well.
I feel like this team has been able to kind of be loose the entire year, and even though there's lofty expectations for the Cardinals this year, it feels like you guys are playing together, you're playing loose, but you didn't get to that point until you got down to the beach. Talk to me about
Yeah.
what transpired down there, and what kind of unlocked for this Cardinals team.
Like the whole team, we embraced the last 2 years as a family aspect. Between the players and the coaches, we're all out there having fun. We're serious when it comes to game time practice, but if you don't have fun out there, what's it to you? There's nothing better than high school baseball with your buddies, and when you have great relationships with the coaches like we do, it's just awesome. And to go on a trip like that, and we're so thankful for the boosters and the school and our families for giving us that opportunity, and we really made the most of it. And it was an amazing time.
You've already alluded to some of the coaches and Coach Weimer. Talk about this coaching staff. I mean, it's a loaded roster, but the coaching staff on top of it has been unbelievably placed together, almost like a perfect puzzle. These guys know baseball, but more importantly, they care about you, the kids and the student athletes. Why is it so important to have great leadership on a team like this?
With coaching staff, we have, it's maybe biased for me, but I personally think it's the best in the area, and I think many agree with me on that. But when it comes to coaching, when you have a great relationship with your players and you really harp on having success for your players and you want the best for them, when they get deep into you, it's not them just like coming at you. It's them that that they really care about you. They want you to be the best. And when we have that relationship with our coaches, it's really second to none.
What I find interesting about this Cardinal team is the fact that there's such a everybody thinks and expects you to go to the state championship and win a state championship there. You guys feel the same way, but it was built off of the loss from last year. You go 24-0, you lose to Salem in the regionals, and then it was just a long process of kind of putting Humpty Dumpty back together again, because I think a lot of you and your teammates were kind of shattered by what happened over the course of that year. There was such a build up to that point. And talk to us about what it was like. Go through that game and the experience that led you to this point again, and building this team chemistry back together and better than it's ever been.
Last season, just the regular season leading up to that was almost immaculate. You don't really see anything like that ever, and we were so fortunate to be able to do that. And again, we harped on family, and we really came together the whole year. Everybody knew their job, what they had to do, And I mean, going into every game, we really didn't face any adversity at all. I think we trailed one game the whole season, and that was Solon. We came back. AJ, Josh both gave us big hits in the seventh. We gave us the lead back and slammed the door there. I think Slanker closed that game, so that was his first appearance last year. And I mean, going into that Salem game, we really didn't have that much adversity. We blew through the games before for playoff wise, and once we got into that game and it was close, it was like, wow, like we're really in this game, and like we really have to all come together. And I mean, Lane, Landon, hats off to both of them through one heck of a game, both of them. And we got the shorter end of the stick that game, and it really sparked everything for us.
One thing that I've learned kind of being close to this Cardinal baseball team and Coach Niddle is the fact that he shares some things with me that he doesn't necessarily share with other people in the media. I've seen the texts that you've put out there in the group chat. You have become a leader, not only on the field, but to make sure that everybody rallies around each other. Why is that so important to you, and where did you learn that trait?
Just like from a young age, I've always been told, like, you got to find your group and you got to find that close knit group, and you have to stay together always and have each other's back. And it's that family aspect. I mean, we may not be blood, but together we're always a family. And when you have each other's backs and when you can depend on everybody to pick you up when something's going down, there's no better feeling in the world.
So one of those text messages was after the Toledo trip, and I was able to kind of be there when you sent it out. You were in the back of the bus, but you sent it to everybody on the bus, including your coaching staff, which I think is really cool that you guys include them in that. And it was basically, and I'm paraphrasing here. Here is what a piece of what we can be, guys. This is just a glimpse of what we can do after that successful weekend in Toledo. And here you guys are now. I mean, Coach Niddle has prepared this schedule and is not trying to go 24-0 and take that for what it's worth. He wants to put you up against the best because he wants you to win that state title. And I think you guys have rallied around him in that battle cry. Why is it playing the best people, the best teams during this regular season so important to you in winning that state championship down the road?
Well, it's a little cliche, but to be the best, you have to beat the best. And like I said, last year we had no adversity going into the last game. We were leading at every point. We could always play loose. And then once we get to that game where it's a 1-1, 2-1 ball game late in the game, I mean, we didn't really know how to react, if I'm going to be honest. So if we can put ourselves in those situations early on in the year this year, know how to battle with it, and see that feeling of a loss, like in the regular season, that's not going to be our last game of the year, I know we can really react to that, and we don't want to feel that again. So this year is really going to be where we battle from that.
No, listen, you can't come into a YSN interview, have that Ric Flair looking haircut, use his lines, and not just give me a woo. Come on, give it to me one time.
Ric Flair, woo!
There it is. I like hearing. All right, so let's talk about the hair. There's a lot of people that don't understand the history of the blonde hair in the baseball team for Canfield. Talk to me about kind of how you guys have embraced it. The majority of you guys, not everybody's got the blonde locks going, but you do. And I would say 80-90% of the baseball team does. Why is it so important, you guys, to keep that tradition going?
Luckily, I was fortunate enough as a freshman to be able to play up with the varsity guys. And for the past 4 years, then I've been able to keep this long blonde hair. And everybody's always asked me, they go, is that a Canfield thing? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's always been a tradition in the past, and the older guys luckily were able to pass it down to us. And it almost just feels like, again, that family aspect where Canfield comes together. Everybody knows when they see the long blonde hair, they're like, oh, that's a Canfield guy, baseball guy. And it's kind of like our trademark at this point, and we hope to keep it going forever.
So I'm interested from a standpoint, Nate. You've obviously committed to Wright State, a big time commit for them. I've heard rumors and a little bit of the rumor mill that they might want you as a two-way player. Especially after seeing the no hitters. Talk to me about. I mean, you committed relatively early from that standpoint. Did it feel like the weight of the world just kind of lifted off your shoulders when you did that? And now that you're talking again to the coaches and Coach Niddle's communicating what you're doing on the bump, does that add any pressure to you, or are you comfortable where you're at from a standpoint of whatever happens, will happen?
Yeah, I mean, you get to a point where you can never be complacent with yourself and you can never be satisfied. But I mean, it did lift a little bit of pressure off once I made that decision to commit to school at Wright State. But I mean, it just adds on another step, along the line. I mean, you may get that weight lifted off your shoulders, but there's still a lot more to go. And that's just one step down the line to the ultimate goal for everybody. And, I mean, whatever happens, happens at this point. I want to do whatever I need to do to win, have success at an early age.
So what are your expectations rather of when you take that step out of a Cardinal uniform and into a Wright State uniform? What are the expectations you have for yourself? Not even what the coaches have for you.
For me, I just want to bring leadership again, as I did here at Canfield. I want to leave another mark, and I just want to be able to go out and do whatever I got to do, compete, play against the best. I want to get whatever I have to do to just compete out there.
What are some of the things you're going to study at the next level?
I plan on majoring in sports management. I want to do something with sports. So,
attaboy. You're not going to go very far
never get away from
the ball. No way, no how. And I've heard that if you really put your mind to it, you could be a YSN personality. I've heard you have quite the personality on the microphone. Is that something that you can see in your future, possibly?
Yeah, I mean, Dom Files, who helps out with YSN, he does the Canfield Barstool, and him, and Landon Beidelshoes will help around sometimes with the Barstool. I mean, it's always fun to have a personality outside of baseball, outside of life, and just be able to be happy out there and do what you want to do.
Let's talk about some of your teammates. You mentioned Landon, the Big Cheese, some of these senior guys that you've come up the ranks with. This is a season that you guys have waited for essentially all your life.
Yeah.
Is there a common bond? Is there a separate kind of text message group that you guys have to kind of make sure that you keep each other up along the way and make sure nothing comes and stands between you and your goal of winning a state championship?
Yeah, before the year, we had a separate group chat of just us seniors. I mean, we went out to go help some of the Little League guys. We helped them over at the Watts Center, and we went out to go eat at the Avalon beforehand, and we just talked about, like, our goals for the season and everything. And, I mean, we're all ready. We're all in for this. I mean, we had such a close relationship with the seniors last year, and all 7 of them. I mean, this year is really for them big time because we were so close with them and we couldn't get the job done with them. But this is really for them because of just how they took us under their wing from a young age, and it was just what we got to do for the younger guys.
Do you remember when Canfield won the state championship back when?
I mean, I was living in New Jersey up until 2012, 2013, so I don't even remember any of that.
Wow, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
it was what brought you to Canfield, Ohio, I guess is the next question.
We got family out here, Youngstown area, and mostly in Boardman, and just luckily fortunate enough to end up in Canfield and a great community and everything.
Do you get any of the I mean, I'm sure you've heard that they won the state championship way back when, and you guys want to be next. And it wasn't way back when; it was like in the 2000s. So
yeah, I think 2007, right? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So when you think about that, leaving your legacy, you talked about the younger kids in the Canfield program, and certainly there are a ton of them coming up watching this baseball program because they expect to be the next Nate Shaw, the next Landon Beidelshoes. When you look at that and you think about that in the grand scheme of things, I don't want to put any pressure upon you that isn't already there.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you owe it to them, the next generation of Cardinals, to leave something behind for them?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the guys coming up, I mean, they look at the Canfield baseball. We always look out and see the little kids there watching us. And honestly, it's just like, it feels great for us knowing that they're there and they're screaming, Cheese, Shaw, Petro, all this stuff. And it's just awesome to see them out there. And, we really do owe it to them because we have a great community that always comes out to watch our games. They really support us through thick and thin. And, I mean, we want to do it for them. We want to encourage kids to keep playing baseball, keep coming up, and want to be the next ones.
Personal story. It just happened the other day. I was able to take my son to one of your ball games at the Struthers game. And you were the first one out of the dugout to peek your head out and give him a fist bump, which made his day, broke down the walls of him being nervous and scared. A testament to not only you, but that entire Canfield community, because there's people that'll say, hey, we want you away from the dugout. We don't want you interacting with fans. I can't thank you enough because that little fist bump got him just engaged in baseball and in T-ball this year. So, and he's going around saying that he bumped with Big Cheese and Nate Shaw and, like all you guys just mean the world. And when you do that, I don't think you understand what it means to a little kid, and especially to a little kid's parents, that you got them interested in the game in ways that I can never do with a fist bump. So thank you for that. And thank you for continuing to really bolster up these kids for the next generation because they're in charge of the game after you're long gone. So why is stuff like that so important to you? Were there guys out there that were giving you fist bumps on the way up?
Yeah, I mean, just a couple of guys, Dom Palali, Ricky Havrilla, Seth Velker. As soon as I came in as a freshman, they all took me right under their wing. And I'm looking up, I'm like, gosh, I'm playing with Dom and Ricky right now. And I'm like, wow. And they're just treating me like family. So, like, I've always learned that, like, you just got to treat everybody like family, be nice to everybody, and really encourage everybody that you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter who I am, who that higher guy is above you. It doesn't matter. We're all humans in the grand scheme of things, and we're all just together.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you look like Thor, but you keep talking about family, and I love that. Talk to me about your family real quick. Why they're so important to you and why this family atmosphere, this family mantra has become basically your calling card, Nate Shaw.
Yes, sir. I mean, everybody that always has my back is always family. Whether that's I will refer to my friends as my family. I know, as I said before, it's not blood, but it's still family in my aspect. And my dad is like my biggest inspiration. He always has my back. He's always there to encourage me, and he's always been there for me. So I mean, it's a great thing to have family around you, and to be surrounded by family is just an amazing feeling that some people do take for granted because you just assume everybody has a family, but you don't see the little things that go on.
Last question, and probably the last time anybody's ever going to ask you this. What do you want to do when you grow up, young man?
I mean, it's a big outlook, but as everybody says, I want to be able to continue baseball, whatever level that is that I continue it, and whether that's playing or just coaching or being involved with it. I want to be able to have baseball as my life because it at a young age it took over my life, and I want it to continue because these are the best years of my life.
One of the most inspirational young men, the motivational guy across that anybody, whether it's in baseball, in a dugout, in a clubhouse, or in a corporate organization or setting, is going to be blessed to have you. Nate Shaw, thanks for spending some time with us today. I cannot wish you more luck than I do right now. You're one of the best to do it, and you're one of the best young men in or outside that uniform.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be on here, and hopefully we'll see you later on in the year.